Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a good one. So there is so much going on right now that's all looking toward the future. I know that sometimes I give you news that's affecting right now, but sometimes macro events mean something. So a macro event that's going on right now, right in front of our faces, Cathie Wood's ARK Invest and 21 shares file for their Ethereum Spot ETF. That's actually huge, and here's why. Ethereum is a commodity, or has been deemed a commodity, which would mean that it's under the auspices of the CFTC and not the SEC. The SEC has to actually approve it. So what I'm expecting is I'm expecting the SEC to go kicking and screaming, meaning they're going to put up a fight for the sake of fighting, right? That's what's really going to happen. They're going to fight for the sake of fighting. And this is something I actually didn't consider. I mean, it makes sense, makes complete sense, but I didn't consider a spot Ethereum ETF. I know I reported on this, a few weeks ago, but I never really got into it. And I should have, because if you look at what Ethereum does, what Bitcoin does, Ethereum could have a similar impact in terms of bringing money into crypto as a Bitcoin spot ETF would. Just think about what runs on Ethereum, Polygon, other layer twos on the Ethereum blockchain. This is what we're talking about. That's why it's huge. Something else that's going on. Digital Currency Group, Barry Silbert, crying much lately. So DCG came to terms with some of their creditors to pay back somewhere between 70 and 90% of their losses, right? And that's really cute. But Gemini's like, nah, son, that doesn't work for us. A couple of companies were like, nah, that's not a good deal. We don't think that's a good deal at all, considering. So they're bringing suit. At least Gemini is bringing suit. So that's one lawsuit that they have while they're still trying to pay out other creditors. And you know what else happened? Yesterday, Genesis, one of DCG's holdings, decided we're going to declare bankruptcy. Now, what also came out was over 4 credits, DCG borrowed about $500 million, allegedly borrowed about $500 million from Genesis, creating a $600 million debt, give or take. And that's actually a really big deal. So I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, wow, if you're being sued from the outside, now you're being sued from the inside. What are you doing over there? You know what's really interesting to me is because of the alleged events in the Genesis lawsuit against DCG, I really do wonder if that adds to the case for Gemini, right? Because Gemini is not just suing DCG. They brought the lawsuit against DCG and Barry. So I think that's going to be huge. And I think that's going to continue to play out. And I don't think it's going to bode well for DCG. Actually, if I think about it a little bit more, because Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is a holding of DCG. I'm wondering if they're going to sell off. I'm wondering if they're going to sell off and let that go by itself and see what happens, because or are they going to try to hold on for dear life, hoping that they get the right and the ability to flip from a trust. Grayscale gets the ability to flip from a trust to a Bitcoin spot ETF, which would say that there would be a huge influx of money, and money might make their problems go away. I don't know. But I can tell you that if anything goes on at DCG, I can almost guarantee that whatever happens, Grayscale is going to be on the table. Dead straight. So I'm interested to see how that continues to play out. Riot Platforms. This is actually nuts. They're a Bitcoin miner, a huge Bitcoin miner. I think they're in the top 4 maybe. So Texas has this thing where they will incentivize their customers through credits, energy credits, if they scale back during high demand incidents? Well, it would seem that Riot Platforms, a Bitcoin miner. I say it like that because Bitcoin miners consume a tremendous amount of energy. A tremendous amount of energy. But the argument against them has been proven that, hey, they actually run pretty efficiently, blah, 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 blah. But they have, that moniker that they waste energy, good or bad. They made $31 million in energy credits in Texas. And it's just funny as hell that that's what happened. So yeah, I'm not bringing it up for any other reason other than that. Basically a revenue stream out of nowhere, out of the blue. Pretty smart, pretty slick. Looking at the future, you see Bitcoin out there, you see Ethereum out there, other coins, and you see what the capabilities are. Well, Visa is not playing games. The clicking you hear is I'm playing with the bracelet my mom gave me. If you want to check out some really nice jewelry, go over to Styles by Paula. You'll see some really nice stuff. But I'm looking at, what's going on with Visa. Visa's really looking hard toward the future. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but if you go through my previous videos, you'll see they're doing things like increasing stablecoin settlements through Solana by integrating Solana so that they could leverage USDC. They're doing a lot of things to look toward the future to ensure their future. And I told you before, there's a video I did a really long time ago, and I should probably redo it and re-release that video. It's about how Visa also makes money off of transactional data. Not by giving away your name and information, but by giving away aggregated information and aggregated research on, trends, for the charges that they're seeing. And they're definitely looking at everything. And I think it's smart as hell. And I'm going to be paying attention to that because, in case you haven't noticed, they are a part of the global financial backbone. So I'm really interested in how they handle the future. Talking about the future, back in July, I told you about SBI. They're a huge Japanese financial institution. And SBI was singing the praises of XRP. And I was kind of like, well, there's got to be something there. What is it? Well, we find out that what's going on is that huge institution has a subsidiary, SBI Remit, and they're using that subsidiary to manage cross-border settlements leveraging XRP. This is proof that, or further proof, that there is a high demand for XRP. Straight up. We should be paying attention to that. I don't know if you are or aren't. I am. I really am. They're trying to become a part of the backbone. You know what else I'm actually going to start paying attention to even harder? I do, but even harder is going to be Stellar, considering same tech or similar tech, but for retail versus institution. Now you know why I do my research and I dig in. Something else that happened yesterday is that the Financial Accounting Standards Board, United States, they obviously handle the standards for accounting practices, all that good stuff. They're allowing, I'm reading my notes right here, they're allowing U.S. companies to use fair value accounting for crypto assets starting in 2025, or they will be moving to that in 2025. But it sounds like companies can actually start taking advantage now if they are set up to. That's actually huge because what it says is that that's a modernization of very old accounting practices. And it's very impactful on how companies actually report their holdings, whether they've gone up or gone down. So I'm not going to get into all the accounting practices and all that stuff. There's great articles out there about that. I've even penned an article about it. I'll release it sometime soon. But it's actually a very big deal. So that way, when you look at companies like MicroStrategy and other companies, Galaxy Digital, other companies that are holding a great amount of digital assets, they'll be able to do fair value, like that stamp in time. What is the fair value of this asset versus if my asset takes a drop and then it comes back, it takes a drop down to, let's say, 20 from 25. I've got to claim that $5,000, in my holdings, and I can't say anything. And let's suppose I come back to 25. I can't claim that until I go over. It's just a whole bunch of accounting stuff, and I'm not an accountant. It's not what I wanted to do for a living. But there is a lot of information about that, and that's actually going to be a very big deal. Is it a big deal for regular people? I have to dig in a little bit more to understand that, and maybe call my accountant to see, if there's a big deal behind it or not. So that's what I'm considering right now. But that's what's going on, and that's huge. I would get into the numbers, but really we're just moving sideways. We're moving laterally, and that's what's really going on. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you like what I'm doing here. If you do, great. Drop me a note. I'd love to hear from you. If you're not appreciative of what I'm doing, tell me what I can do that can help you more. All right? Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.